You're watching part 4 in our Network Innovation series on software-defined networks and network function virtualization. You can view the other 3 episodes by clicking appropriately just in the box below me down there. This time we asked our experts about corporate and end-user benefits. What are they and when might they arrive? Martin Warwick started with Justin Dustzadeh of Huawei.
For enterprises of small size, I think there is a great benefit of putting a lot of the networking-related functionalities into the network and into the cloud. So these smaller enterprises do not have to worry about how to manage the traffic and the connectivity within their enterprise. For larger enterprises where there is a great number of devices to manage, similarly, you can imagine that at the edge of the enterprise and in the network, service provider's network, these functionalities can be placed there and manage the traffic within the enterprise. This also can help them with scenarios such as cloud bursting, where a large enterprise needs to provision very quickly and immediately additional cloud services, and service providers can actually offer that functionality to enterprises.
Right now, when you want to provision a new set of network assets, you make a phone call, someone rolls in their piece of equipment with their proprietary command line interface, they provision that equipment, and that can take months to deploy that new capacity, versus having a virtualized environment or an SDN implementation where you can provision services and capabilities in a much more timely fashion. So I think efficiency of deployment is a definite value that the enterprise CIO will extract. And from an end user perspective, again, as I'm a person within an enterprise environment, the ability to get the services that I need on a real-time basis would obviously be beneficial from a consumer of the application perspective, whether it be security or network or whatever the opportunity may be.
Now it's, can I get data connectivity? Can I get all the signaling? Can I get my work environment on my tablet? All those are dependent on being able to get through that network in a way that you have the right priority, you have the right security, you have the ability to get it anywhere you are. And so I think these are the things that operators really want to bring to their enterprise customers. Now, how can the enterprise customer get that? They have to, you asked a question about the operators partnering with the enterprise.
Indeed.
Enterprise got to partner with the operator. Today, I think if you look at it, they look at the operator as a cost center. They are going to be, in the future, a user experience center. So their salespeople, their operations people, individual consumers will come to realize that the network makes a difference in how they're able to work, how they're able to play, if you will, and really how these devices can really work. And so we look at that, recognizing that the network matters to user experience as a big way that the enterprise or the consumer, eventually the consumer, first it's going to be the enterprise, will be able to say the network matters. It's not just a pipe anymore.
My belief, and this is almost a philosophical one, is that it will create more choice. Much in the way that having smartphones that allowed an ocean of programmers to put smart applications and new apps on your cell phone has recreated that market and been very interesting for consumers. I think you'll see very similar things in the networking space. The question I always ask is, what is the Farmville for networking? What is the simple application that everybody loves that nobody ever would have thought of beforehand? I think that's where the really interesting things lie.
The benefits of SDN really go along 2 different pillars. One pillar is around running the network more efficiently. We've seen great strides over the past decade in the data center. We've virtualized servers. We've virtualized storage. And so now we have these pools of resources that we can use for compute and for storage. The network really hasn't gotten there. And in fact, the network is somewhat of an inhibitor to us realizing the full potential of what we've already done, virtualizing those other parts of the infrastructure. So what SDN can bring is that same notion, that notion of virtualizing the network infrastructure to enterprises. And so that allows them to run their operation much more efficiently, save tremendously in OpEx, And then also deploy applications more quickly. So you're going to put it into context. You can spin up a virtual machine very quickly. You can get the storage associated with that very quickly. But today, getting the network resources to support that takes you a long time. So very quickly means minutes, hours. A long time means days, weeks, even months in some cases. And so if we can bring the network more in line with those other time scales, now suddenly the network is agile. The network is more an enabler of ultimately what we're trying to do, which is get applications to the end user more quickly and at the quality of experience that they're expecting.
One of the things that has changed drastically in the last 4 to 5 years is really the pace at which applications are delivered to the consumer. And of course, we've all experienced this with smartphones and all of that kind of thing. But this will continue to evolve to an even more dynamic and interesting cultural phenomenons that will also guide the way that applications are built. And part of that is the infrastructure that is behind your smartphone. The infrastructure that's behind your smartphone plays a very important role in all of this. So, as these infrastructure data center capabilities change, and to be able to deliver faster, better applications and data to the consumer, this will of course change the way we actually interact with technology, with each other, with the world.